Why, hello there. Fancy meeting you here. Hey guys, it's Dan, Book Nook Noggin. And I think I'm going to keep doing these TBR videos. I think you guys are willing to watch them, as proven by my last TBR video. So, I think I'm going to keep making them. And I think that if I keep doing this, it's going to help keep me on track and reading and reviewing some arcs that were sent to me and some books that were sent to me. I think it's going to help keep me on track when it comes to that stuff. Yeah, I was really overly ambitious with my February TBR. I included way too many books in that TBR. I didn't get to all of them. So, I am still reading Graveyard Smash, which is the Women of Horror Anthology Volume 2. One of the stories that I really enjoyed so far was by Catherine McCarthy. It was kind of a dark comedy about this guy who dies and he has to share a burial plot with some other guy. That one I kind of found funny. And that was one of the most memorable stories I've read in this so far. I'm only, really not too far into it. But yeah, I definitely want to finish this. And then, of course, I'm dying to get into this one. Nocturnal Farm by Vic LeMay Mist. I really want to contribute and give back to the community, because this is a really great horror community. One that I'm a part of on Twitter, and I really want to give back to it. I do have a subreddit that's for self-promotion. Now, I know, some people in the Twitter horror community are not too familiar with Reddit. I know not everybody uses Reddit, but it is something that's it's a really great, another great social media tool that I'm all for, and I think it's something that people should be using, because it's another market, another way to reach people. And I will leave that link down below if you guys want to check it out, if you can join that and help that community grow, because it is for self-promotion. Because if you're not too familiar with Reddit, a lot of Reddit, there are other horror subreddits, but they don't allow for self-promotion. They're totally against that. So that's kind of why I saw this void in the niche, and I decided to make my own. And I have been the one who has been solely trying to post content for it. I do have one other person who submits booktube videos on there, but they're not really engaging with the community, which that's the only thing I ask. If you're going to use the subreddit, please engage and interact with the community. Don't just be a spammer, because that shit does not look good for you or me, and yeah. But yeah, enough of me rambling about that stuff. I'm also, I'm currently reading on my Kindle White Pines by Gemma Amor, and I was reading this back in February, but I didn't mention it in my Women in Horror TBR, because at the time, the point I was in the book, because it's really multi-genre story, that I really, at the time and the point I was in the book, I wasn't really sure if it could be categorized as horror, but now that I'm almost finished with it, and I will be finishing that and probably doing a review of it sometime before the end of March, so stay tuned for that. Like I said, it is a multi-genre book, which kind of reminds me of... there's no comparisons I can give it book-wise, but if I was to compare it to two films, I would say it's kind of like the Philadelphia Experiment meets The Wicker Man. It's kind of along those lines. It's different. It's my first time ever reading Gemma Amor. I'm also currently listening on audiobook to the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I knew it was something like that. By Grady Hendrix. And this is my first experience with Grady Hendrix. Even though I already own his Horror Store book, which I have not read yet. I'm kind of on the fence about this one. I'm not 100% sure how I feel about it. There are some really slow parts. It is kind of a slow burn at times. It's entertaining. It is entertaining. It kind of reminds me of Fright Night a little bit, that was back in the 80s. It kind of has some Fright Night vibes to it, but I'm going to say it's a different take on vampires. It's not a traditional vampire 100%. But yeah, it is kind of a slow burn, because there are sometimes it's just like a lot of unnecessary drama seems to be going into that story. So I'm not 100% sure how I feel about that book yet, and I'm over 50% done with that one. After that, I'm going to be reading... these are going to be audiobooks, by the way. What Big Teeth, that is a new YA horror movie, and that one is by Rose Zabo. And then after that, I'm going to be reading Mongrels by Stephen Graham Jones, which is something I've been wanting to read for a very long time. And I saw it was available in my Hoopla app, because my local library just finally got Hoopla back up and running. So I was browsing that, and I was like, yeah, definitely. They got a number of Stephen Graham Jones books in there. Some of them I've never really heard of, but I think I'm going to knock out that one, because it is one that I've been wanting to read for a while. So Mongrels will be one of the ones. And then also on audiobook, if I can fit it into my schedule, and then if I can fit it into my schedule, I'm going to try and read The Night Silver River Run Red by Christine Morgan. That is a splatterpunk western by Death's Head Press. Like I said, if I can fit that one into my March reading, then I will be doing I will probably read and review that one as well. I'm not sure what I'm going to fill in my Kindle spot after I finish White Pines. I kind of have a few books in mind, but I'm not 100% sure on what I'm going to go into next, so I'm not going to promise anything on that angle. There's a couple that I intend on reading, but like I said, I don't want to 100% say, yeah, I'm going to do this, and then not get to it or find out it's no longer on my Kindle, because there were some Kindle files that I hopefully had transferred, and I'm not sure that they're there. But yeah, another thing is, I want to know, if you're still watching the comic book people, do you want to see a comic book TBR? Because I can try and oblige on that end. I really don't feel like I should include that in my regular TBR, because I feel like there's this division on my channel of people who are here for the regular books and people that are here for the comics. And I know there are a few crossovers in between. There's a few of you who are here for both. But I feel like if I do the comics in my monthly TBRs, they're just going to be like super long. And I know that people's attention spans are kind of low, especially if it's going to be something that's going to be like a 20-minute video. So like if I do a comic book graphic novel TBR, I think it's going to be a separate video. If that is something you want to see, comment down below. If you've read any of these books that I mentioned, let me know that as well. Yeah, and if you want to definitely, if you back the idea of me doing author interviews, let me know that as well. If you are an author and you happen to be watching this and you want an opportunity to be interviewed by me, go ahead, comment down below, or DM me on Twitter, or send me a message to my YouTube, etc., etc. But that's all I got for you guys. Kind of going through a lot of shit right now, so I'm sorry I'm not like super chipper. But yeah, I'm going to throw down my coffee link if you don't mind buying me a coffee or two. I could use the energy and the motivation. I'm on the fence about whether I should invest more money in my channel to try and reach 1,000 subscribers sooner rather than later. But I'm kind of on the fence about it because my finances right now are not the best. So I don't know, and I can't really do a Patreon because I feel like I don't know what I would offer as Patreon exclusive content to give people an incentive to donate and stuff like that. But It is what it is. If you came here looking for book reviews and book recommendations, please hit that subscriber button. While you're there, hit that notification bell. If you're still here, thank you for watching. This has been Dan. Later.